Hello again, this is Verde, and today we're playing a little bit more Boosted Survivors. I see that have gone a little bit further down into the thing. Great. I don't think I have made a stabby build yet, did I? Yeah, I don't think so. Let's start out by getting armor, damage, and attack speed. Those are the three ingredients. Yeah. I had a very similar build. One of my one of my earlier videos out there with this exact setup. Let me check how early that was. Okay, it was October 14th, I suppose, which had this exact setup. However, I was doing something very different than I currently am, I hope. Actually, I was doing something very different than what I'm currently aiming for. Sadly, the talentless thing has some problems. Unlike unarmed, which is unarmed is very very good at being bad. What I mean by that, I mean that it does not have that many values and it does not have any legendaries whatsoever for it. That's not true for this talentless thingy. It has few KVs, which is great. Has very few values to upgrade. However, it does have tons of legendaries. It has split shot, it has homing projectile, it has extra projectiles. You know, it has tons of stuff that aren't really that useful. And when I mean really that useful, I mean that they aren't really useful at all. So, and they clog up the pool of your legendaries. So, if you wanted to make a build exclusive to a certain weapon, it would be better for you to get rain instead of talentless, which is sad, you know. I will reroll here. I did not get anything that I wanted. Really? I could get dash attack. I don't think it would be useful. I could add Royal Flame. But once again, I don't think it would be useful. I could get the orb because it is just two values. But I think dash attack it is also two values and it is a little bit more useful than the orb. Because at least it deals damage, but it changes the distance of my dash to a very big number, which I don't like. Tough choices here. This adds 3. This adds 2 too. I will get Gaia's Thorn. Gaia's Thorn is very good even if you don't want to upgrade it, because it gives a little bit knockback to your enemies when they hit you. And that can save you in some situations, you know? Like if you are stuck, it can save you. It can. Yeah, it is possible. I want 3 things. In terms of class, my best scenario class, I believe, would be Berserk. But that's mint buddy. Great. I hope for some damage or attack speed. Why Berserk? Well, because Berserk gets increased damage and attack speed. And I already have a ton of armor. I have 24 armor, which would be reduced to 21 if I get Berserk. But Berserk has a prerequisite of getting Warrior, which is nice. I won't tell you otherwise. And this game has a very specific issue with attack speed, which often makes me not take the assassin route, which has a cap. Not a strong cap, but it bugs out a little bit. At least with the Qatar. And honestly, the other thing, getting smaller, doesn't really help me at all. Because if I'm doing what I'm doing, any damage is so boring though, but guess it is damage. I need to... Oh, good. Attack speed. But the thing is, dagger is a weapon that you might get to maximum attack speed if you get your boosts right. So when you get there, Assassin becomes quite mediocre, I suppose, because the only thing it really boosts is attack speed. And it doesn't even boost it that much, you know. In terms of classes in the game, there are the easy contenders for the best class in the game, but there are a ton of contenders for the worst class in the game. Not that many, actually. I would say that the worst class in the game is the wizard. But there are some situations that I would take the wizard, so... My reasoning for that is the following. Most of the time I take a wizard, I would very much rather prefer to have an elementalist, because most spells in the game do elemental damage. Like, there are some exceptions, like Skade or in Rain, which don't do elemental damage by default. However, giving elemental damage to Rain is the easiest way of making Rain work. Like, you just give fire damage to it, and you're set. Really? Or even acid damage. I believe acid damage is a little bit better, because it scales better. And, oh yeah, it has a limit of 5 seconds duration, but you will see that the most enemies will die before 5 seconds. Rule of thumb is, if your enemies die before 5 seconds, you would be better off with acid. If your enemies die after 5 seconds, fire is your next best bet, you know. And, well, most of the time that I'm going for an elemental build, I have a build that can kill my enemies in less than 5 seconds. I mean, so most of the time, weirdly enough, fire is better. Acid is better than fire, even though fire has that neat condition that it lasts for basically ever. If you get enough stacks going. Every time it ticks, it removes 1 stack. And, well, that's it. It doesn't have a duration. But if you have enough stacks going, if you have like 50 stacks of fire going, it will last about 50 seconds, you know. There is the whole quadratic thing that you can do to figure out exactly how much damage it will do. But honestly, at that point, if you have 50 stacks of fire damage on someone, it's taking 50 times fire damage, and your fire damage is probably around 10. It is dealing 500 damage a tick. You know. And there's that thing that if you keep applying fire to your enemies, it effectively becomes an infinite loop, because you're probably applying fire faster than the fire is being consumed. However, that only applies if the thing lasts more than 5 seconds. In general, I usually prefer acid if I have an option, I suppose. very much prefer acid. But anyway, it is time for me to stab my enemies very slowly. You cannot tell me that this Gaia thing is not doing something. I mean, it is doing something. It is not very good at what it is doing, but it's doing something. I mean, we just reached 200 attack speed. So let's stab my enemies some more. So, yeah. I need some life steal. Actually, I need my legendary that I am building towards, and I still have not gotten. That would help. Like, look at my health. I have 30 armor. That is nice. However, that I still can die of nutrition, I suppose. You know, it is called nutrition death when you slowly take chip damage and more chip damage and more chip damage, and you have no way of recovering health. You slowly but surely die of nutrition. And I believe that's what we're going towards. At least right now. I mean, when those fire guys start to show up, they will pretty much murder me if I'm not prepared. Because they don't really care if you're tanky, you know. Their damage, well, they use fire, which, as I told you guys, fire has that weird property that it, well, kills you. I mean, this is what I meant about that legendaries thing. I don't really make any use out of piercing projectiles, but here they are. I guess I'm taking Devil Deal. Let's get even more armor. Let's get tanky to a fault, really. I take too long to kill my enemies. So do they. I could pivot into a Gaia's build, but I really don't want to. And I'm not really that tanky because I have no way of recovering health, which is a problem. And I have no damage block, so I block 100% of the damage, like I did in that video some days ago. So I am slowly dying. If I could increase my health region, that would be nice, but the game is not letting me. This is a run about a very tanky man with a knife. Oh, so there's that. A very tanky person with a knife. We have established that gender of this thing is not well defined. Anyway. Of this survivor, I suppose. Stabity, stabity, stab. Please die. I could start avoiding taking damage. That is a strategy too. Like dodging enemies' projectiles. That is also something I could do. Oh, those tanks hurt. This is taking so long, so painstakingly long. Here, take my talentless bolt. That will help. I missed. Okay. Here, take another. Yay, this one I was actually able to hit it. Huh. Great. Let's remove this thing. Let's start removing some stuff so I can get... Not gonna lie, that return damage is looking hella sweet right now. Look at that, 13 damage to everyone involved. Don't mind if I do. I mean, I currently deal, okay, 200-ish damage every time I stab them. Which is some damage, don't get me wrong. But it could be way more. Anyway. I have established that if I get tanky enough, the game will just let me win. Right? Slowly. I will get a lot of time to talk with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy my voice. If you don't, you can also mute the video. But that would make the video a little bit, well, silent, I suppose. You could also download the video, use some software to remove my voice, and run it and listen to the video afterwards. But that's too much work, isn't it? You could also play this game. It is very cheap. It is about $1, I suppose. I believe it is exactly $1 or 99 cents. Something like that. On Steam. It is a very nice game. It was worth my dollar, by the way. I have played over 200 hours of this. So... yeah, it was quite worth my dollar. Let me grab that level up. So you could also play the games if you don't want to hear my voice. That is a possibility. Again, I don't know how many of you exist. So I have to keep that in mind. Still need some life still. Oof. I'm losing too much health in that. If I only get like 2 boosts of regen, that would be enough really for now for me to have full HP most of the time. But attack speed though, let's get 1 at least, right? That will triple my regen. I know, there is life steal. There is attack speed being offered there. But I'm only dodging, by the way, projectiles that deal significant damage. I will not be dodging these small fries. Because see, when you are full HP, it means that you are wasting your tanking resources. Especially here if I have... when I have Gaia's thing, when I have Gaia Storms. Every time I'm at full HP, I'm wasting damage, basically. I'm wasting my regen. This is what I was trying to communicate. I could be using, could take some damage, so I deal some damage, so I'm very tempted to take the attack speed. But I will do the responsible thing. I will take the regen. This way I cannot really die. I still can very much die. But I cannot really die without doing something stupid, I suppose. Without making some questionable mistakes. I should have gotten the lightning on attack. But lightning is so OP, I feel like I'm going lightning every video, you know? And I'm trying to make stuff a little bit more varied to you guys, you know? Variation is nice and all. Even when I'm playing without recording, I don't like doing the same build over and over and over again. I mean, there are some very strong builds in this game. If I were to want 100% win rate or something, I would probably pick Rain and then go for elementalists or elemental damage as soon as I'm offered, or even lightning damage is elemental damage. But you'll get my. And as a weapon, I would probably get the spear every time. So that would be my 100% win rate duo, I suppose. Not because it is the overall strongest, but I believe it is the most reliable. Purple attack speed for my... I'm rewarded for my patience over there. That would be my... Oh, you want to win every time, take this, you know. If I had a gun against my head and I needed to win this game in order to... for the kidnapper to let me go, that would be my combination, I suppose. Rain and... Now, if I wanted to try to win the game without taking damage, clear and spear. Not... Clear and spear, yes. Clear is very strong overall because you can get Vortex Armor or Cascade. They are both very good. Clear is very reliable too. Well, coming to think of it, Clear might be more reliable than Rain. Huh. I'm thinking, okay? Because if you get any either fire or either fire or acid on the ring thing, you probably do more damage. Like, you only need one legendary to really pop off, but you can probably beat up until the Colossus very reliably if you start with Spear. Because the Spear can clear wave 12 quite easily, in fact. And it has enough knockback to keep those bats away while your spell clears them properly. My main issue with clear is that you may run out of charges. And then you'll do what, right? It has a very long cooldown, while Rain has basically no downtime. If you get any lucky, you can remove Rain downtime by the first legendary. Like, you can either get a purple duration on Rain, or get a legendary that reduces Rain's cooldown. There are options. So you get 100% uptime, while Clear has a very determined not uptime because it doesn't have a duration, but there is a time that enemies take to get to you, you know, from the clear radius. So I guess there is an uptime thing going on. So I'm tanky, not the tankiest I've ever been. I mean, the boss, I believe, just... It didn't kill itself, but it got pretty close, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it made most of its job. It did most of my job, I meant. Next wave is where we get the fiery guys and the slugger. The slugger I'll probably need to cheese, I believe, because my build is probably not very good. But I guess I could cheese him. I still have not gotten the thing I wanted to have. So let's go rogue. Range, attack speed, regen, extra lives, radius on that. Attack speed, there we go. Yeah, let's stab my enemies multiple times, repeatedly. Thankfully, this time around I have control over my character, so I can do stuff like this. And also I'm somewhat tanky, and I have a little bit of knockback when they hit me, so they can't corner me that well. Overall, good vibes. I mean, let's stab these enemies to death. Very slowly. I could get pudding and get something fun via pudding. I don't think I'm getting pudding, by the way. Let's remove Gaia's Thorn so it stops tempting me. I don't think these rushers can hit me anymore. They can, but... well, they were never able to deal significant damage to me anyway. I need to get all of the level ups I can, because they increase my damage, and since my attack speed is very high, 8 damage per second, 8 hits per second, it increases my DPS quite a lot. Like, let's do some quick calculations while I don't look at the screen, because, well, I can just walk through the bog. I'm feeling confident in my tank ability. Let's get that extra boost, because extra boost is perhaps attack speed. Excuse me, Mr. I. I strongly believe that nothing will be stronger by default than the shovel build. But the issue with the shovel build is that, as you'll probably see in that video, you'll spend a lot of time boosting and cheesing. You know? And there is some risk involved in there, you know? If you are not tanky enough, you might get killed. Shovel by itself is not really that strong as a weapon. You can get it to be strong by the sheer virtue of having exponentially grown boosts, but yeah. I have a thing which I call speculation right now. I have noticed that runs that rely on summons a lot, they usually receive more drops, right? That might be just confirmation bias, but that also might mean that summons may drop boosts with the same may drop pickups in general with the same I forgot the word for it, but with the same drop rate as standard enemies do. Standard enemies have a 2% chance of creating a random pickup whenever they are killed. So, if I still have not tested that possibility, but if that's the case, I suppose I could do a wiggy build where with Druid Staff, so I can get tons of wiggies, and their duration is 0, so they instantly die. I will test that someday. Probably not today. But I'll actually remove speed here. I'll probably not be upgrading speed manually. At least. I do really not like these fire guys. Thankfully, some of them killed themselves to the bog. But they deal a ton of damage. And they set me on fire. And I, like most people, don't like being set on fire. So, oh, excuse me, I want that. Thank you. I hit about 9 times per second. I am almost considering using my using using the knockback. I'm almost considering using the knockback from the Gaia thing in order to push enemies into the bog so that they die a little bit faster, or even upgrading knockback from my knife. Yeah. This is a very slow grind. But one can hope. Actually, let's upgrade the knockback, shall we? Let's start upgrading dagger knockback to a point where enemies cannot reach me anymore. And actually, my current objective here is to be able to push some of my enemies into the bog, because it is taking a little bit long to kill them. Not really that long. But let's do something fun, right? This run is tiresome. I could have gotten a Desolate Dagger and just be tearing to these guys. But yeah, I don't like Desolate Dagger that much. I mean, I like it, but I don't like how unsynergistic it can be with everything else, you know? You don't want to really increase its damage with crits because, well, it decreases the number of hits you need to do in order to kill the enemies. You don't really want to use Crown of Swords to hit your enemies because it basically ignores the property of Desolate Dagger that increases its damage. You don't really want, like, what do you really want to do with Desolate Dagger, you know? Budding. Nice. Please, Budding, give me something interesting at least. At this point, I'll take even stun on hit, or fire on hit, or, God forbid, lightning on hit. Anything, really. Just to keep me out of this boredom. I would, of course, prefer Mr. Stabby, which is the legendary I want to go for, but if that's not possible, I didn't get Miss Stabby. Let's get fire on hit. Thing is, the thing we are hitting will die soon enough. There's this as well, which is lightning on head or fire on head. Or Desolate Dagger. I will not be taking Desolate Dagger, okay? I just spent a very long time dissing you. Let's increase the fire damage or fire stacks here. Fire stacks is a little bit better. Hello, Mr. Slugger. Would you please die? At this point, the fire damage is dealing significant damage. Interesting. Yeah, it died. Nice. Well, since I am doing fire damage related stuff, I suppose the next step is to get Crown of Swords, shouldn't I? How how original. I really don't want to do the same build over and over again, but that's what I'm given. I wanted Mrs. Stabby, but I didn't get it. Vampirism. Huh. Fire damage. Right. So my fire damage now deals tons of damage. Look at that. I'll increase attack speed and knockback on my weapon. So I will... Life Seal with Gaia's Thorn is a very strange thing to have. And I still haven't deleted it. Didn't I? I feel like I did delete Gaia's Thorn related stuff. Why isn't it red, I have no idea. But the thing is, I take damage, and because of my high armor, the damage doesn't really stick around because of the Gaia Storm. Yeah, I'm not 100% invincible right now, but I'm very close. Like, I guess I can still be killed by high enough damage burst, or single target damage in general, like damage being dealt by a single target, which would mean that I don't have enough targets to lifesteal from when the damage goes back, because I have a very long, I forgot the name of it. I have a very long iframe time, so I think the Gaia damage thing deals damage before my iframes are over. So yeah, let's get even more lifesteal somehow. Attack speed. I told you the wrong thing. What a weird build, really. So, regen is not necessary anymore, because I am invincible. I can even stay put, but I need to get to the snipers still. Because since I have some armor, not a lot, but some armor, I can tank most of the hits, which is nice. Regen is not useful at all anymore, but let's get more attack speed. I want a very high number of, of attacks per second, so I can let my closest enemies on fire, and also so I can knock them back, I suppose. I would love more knockback, since I'm now invincible or something. I'm probably not invincible to bosses, but I'm very good at killing bosses due to how fire works. So, yeah, I'm probably winning this run. That's the saddest thing. I didn't manage to do anything really interesting, but that's life sometimes. Unless I get Miss Stabby, then it may get interesting eventually. So let's do some calculations real quick, right? Our hit deals 30% of some fire stacks, which are 15. So I guess it is 30% of 15. I don't know if that's one. I think this one is bugged, however. When it hits the fire thing, it is 15 times 7 damage immediately. Like after the first tick. I believe it is 30% though. I believe that the chance is going. I'm just hitting fast enough so that most of the time it doesn't really matter. Or perhaps the chances are computed separately for each stack, which I wouldn't remove that possibility from my list. Sadly, Gaia Storm does not trigger your own attack thing. That would be funny. So I don't think this does anything, but let's increase it. Right. Yeah, perhaps sometimes my enemies are not catching fire. I'm gaslighting myself into thinking that is a good idea to upgrade. Only melee weapons, only melee enemies this time around. Fun wave, huh? I wonder if it does anything. Very fun wave. I'm probably unable to die in this wave. Therefore, I can just stay put. I don't need to move towards my enemies. Oh, I'm probably possibly able to die now. There are few enemies. Oh, I like purple attack speed. Oh, okay. This is the sniper only wave. This wave is one wave that... If there is one wave that can kill me, this is probably it. Along with some very strong boss that can one-shot me. I mean, this is almost a Desolate Dagger, right? Because of the stacking nature of fire. The stacking nature of fire sounds like I'm talking about something smart, isn't it? Doesn't it? I'm not, though. I'm just talking about... Yeah, so let's remove dash charges from the possibility list. Oh, the fire one. That guy is dangerous. That guy is something that may kill me because he might as well stack tons of fire. And then all my enemies die. All my enemies nearby die, but there's a sniper somewhere. In that scenario, I cannot get the sniper before the fire is over and I die. So I need to be a little bit careful with this wave. Not that much careful, to be honest. Not that careful. But this wave is a wave which is possible for me to die. Which are not the norm. Let me get that level up. Thank you. Let me poke at you really quick. Let's increase the dagger knockback, yes. Great. Double damage. I don't think that double damage will... Yeah, it doesn't affect my fire damage. Because it's given by a relic, not by a regular thing. I suppose. Like, some relics, not relic, legendaries. I'm getting my games confused here. I'm thinking Slade Aspire, aren't I? Some legendaries do give you dots and stuff that can crit. Like Fire Sword or Lightning Bolt. But most of them, the thing cannot crit. The dot, the elemental damage. Most of the time it cannot crit. I believe Thor's hammers too. Finally, Miss Stabby. Mr. Stabby. Stabby. Basically what it does is it has infinite range, but it hits enemies at random. But since I have fire and, well, tons of life steal, while there is one single enemy around, I have tons of damage and stuff. It gets more fire stacks, more fire-related stuff. I'm going for fire and attack speed. So I can hopefully set every enemy on fire. Great, finally I got my laser thing. And I really like how thin the attack is, by the way. More attack speed, nice. And I believe... Yeah, its attack speed increases a little bit faster than the regular dagger. So it would be better to get it early on. It increases 50% faster, actually. But it is what it is, right? Yeah, let's remove size. Increasing knockback would be useful, but it isn't green. So I believe it is a good time for me to reduce the stuff. By the way, the bog, it deals acid damage. As long as your regular damage. So if you can tank it for 5 seconds, you can take it forever, you know? Because the first acid stacks start to run out after 5 seconds. So there's that. At least the game is consistent with that. Let's get the green one. Very funny. Let's start doing that wizard thing I did some other run, the rain run. Which is, I get the furthest to the right of the KVs that are useful to me. And unless they are green. Then or purple. Then I get the green or purple. You know. That's the idea right now. Don't know how well I'll be able to execute said idea. Knockback matters to me a little bit, but not that much. Let's remove health. I don't need to increase my health any further, at least manually. I would like to increase it, but it increases by itself when I take those damage ups. So no need to worry there. My clear speed increased quite a lot now. Because, well, I don't need to worry about getting close to enemies anymore, nor dying, really. Let me grab that thing, level up. So lifesteal does not matter for me. Let's get more attack speed. Hello, twins. They killed themselves, didn't they? Sometimes the bosses spawn in positions where they kill themselves. This time both of the twins did. Which is something. None of this really interests me. I'm dealing most of my damage for fire, so don't care about that either. Let's get fire damage to a nice number. It is the furthest to the right. Excuse me, enemies. I can still take damage, so armor wouldn't be that bad. I believe, however, I can tank this thing for 5 seconds. Yeah. It might be better for me to be inside the bog all the time, so that some annoying enemies can't touch me and kill me. I would like more armor. How much armor do I have? Only 45. By this point in the game, 45 armor isn't a lot. But at the same time... look at that damage. It is a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong. Get more fire stacks going. In this case, it's very easy to calculate between fire stacks and fire damage and fire things. I can easily do it. I could easily do it, but I won't. Let's stab my enemies further back. At least with the misstabby, this thing is a little bit fun. And don't you forget, the less enemies there are on screen, more damage they are taking, because random is fun. Randomness is fun. Let's banish that. I don't think I will be further upgrading fire stack chance, because I don't really know if that works. You know, there are some things that are bugged within this game. Like, I know stun chance for a fact is, but I do know, however, that... Oh, more attack speed, nice. I do know for a fact that lightning chance works, though. So there is that. Oh, an extra boost. Oh, I love that double damage. I take so much damage, but I heal it so fast. It almost doesn't matter, but it does matter because if I take enough damage, I can die. I am very much able to die. Fire stacks in this case is a little bit better. Attack speed always. At this point I have some priorities, I think. I believe attack speed is a little bit better than everything else. Because it increases how much I can spread my damage. And I think I'm dealing a little bit more damage than... Like, attack speed not only increases my damage, but it also increases the spread of it. You know, it's how much it's spread against all enemies alive. Because I'm pumping more lasers, I suppose. And lasers are cool and all. Like that. More armor here is necessary. I will get fire damage because it's green. Where's the boss? The boss is there. It is already taking significant fire damage and will probably die very soon. It is already taking over 1,000 fire damage. Great. This would be excessive. This is just 1 kV. I need more armor though, so I can tank the bog a little bit better, so I can stand here a little bit better, so that my melee enemies won't pull any surprises on me. Oh god. There is a possibility that acid damage also refreshes itself. So my theory on tanking the bog for 5 seconds could be wrong. Yeah, it seems like the damage keeps increasing even after 5 seconds. I was wrong, guys. Sorry about that. Need more attack speed though. Thing is, I should be spending some of my time in the bog until my HP drops to about 50%, I suppose. Actually, not really yet, but against the last boss I will need to be spending a lot of time in the bog. I didn't see mint pudding, did I? I don't remember. Perhaps I did. This run is just taking forever, so I don't remember having seen it. So anyway, this wave is still easy. The next one will be complicated. But I can basically run from my enemy forever. I have lots and lots of speed. And everything but the... Nothing but the final boss is able to kill me. The final boss still is able to one-shot me. And probably the pillars too. I haven't checked their damage in a while, but the pillars do a little bit damage, but you need to be in a very specific position from them. Which sadly does happen. Hello, last boss of the game. Are you dying yet? Are you dead yet? No? I would like you to be. As my damage focus on him, this becomes stupid, yes. Yay! I managed to go pretty far, actually, into the leaderboard. That is position 4. I hope you guys enjoyed that thing. That first minutes of me suffering to get Mr. Stabby. And then the last minutes of me enjoying Mr. Stabby. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you like it, subscribe, do those kinds of things. It helps my mood mostly. It doesn't really help the channel because, well, channel is small. But anyway, I hope to see you guys next time.